Big Balls Fantasy Football, Week 12. We are here at the Man Cave in Universal City, here just outside of Hollywood adjacent, as I like to call it here in LA. And this sports bar is awesome. We just found this place out. It's brand new on the map, and we were having a blast here. But we watched our game at the Tin Horn, and I, of course, am Greg Reifsteck, 20-year fantasy veteran. I am the Beast.
And I am your co-host, Jenilee, Borek, a 10-year fantasy veteran. We're both fans of the Chicago Bears, as you can see, and together we're the beauty
And the Beast
of fantasy football experts.
So, you put up with 6 hours of hell at the Tin Horn Bar, and it was just like crazy because there was a weather delay in the game back in Chicago, raining cats and dogs, mass hysteria, stealing that from Ghostbusters, but damn, it looked like Armageddon there. And we managed to pull off a win. We managed to pull it off.
Yeah, you know, it was one of the most stressful wins of the season. If you're a Bears fan, then typically you're stressed out all the time. But being there at Tin Horn was difficult because you don't get good cell phone reception, so I couldn't check my fantasy. I was there for, 6 hours or something, and the weather was just horrific. There were tornadoes going through Illinois, so I want to send out a shout-out, we do, at Big Balls, to hope everyone was safe through that weather because it was definitely bad. It was almost a 2-hour delay for the Bears game, but we were able to still play the game and pull out a win in overtime. That's how long the game took, so it was just complete insanity, and I was stressed. I'm just now feeling slightly relaxed, and we won.
I have a message for Trestman. Please, we really need to either get rid of Mel Tucker or we just need to revamp the defense. I know there have been a lot of injuries, but these games are driving us insane. They're the cardiac Bears now, for crying out loud. And fantasy-wise, it was a great game. If you had Alshon, you got your points. If you had B. Marsh, you got your points.
Well, B. Marsh was in.
Well,
I have to say that. B. Marsh did not do his normal because there wasn't a lot of passing.
Mm-hmm.
There was more running because of the weather. So.
Right. The middle of that field looked nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Forte got you, Ray Rice got you points.
I was just going to say, I'm very pissed that Ray Rice, our defense are the star makers of every running back in the league right now. We made Brandon Jacobs look great. Now we made Ray Rice, who hasn't had a great fantasy week all season, balls out against us, gets you tons of points. I should have played him. He was on my bench. You told me I should have, and I should have listened.
Well, I just said if there's a week to play him, our run defense has been so bad that this would be the week to chance it. And for those of you that did chance it, you definitely got some points from him. He got a touchdown for you all. But, it was definitely a difficult game, even fantasy-wise, because they just couldn't pass with the conditions. And as a Bears fan, it's so strange to be nervous when the defense takes the field and feel a little more confident when the offense takes the field. And I think that's the transition we're going through, and it's so odd. Our defense just is bad. I think we're ranked like 26th overall defense, but yet our offense gives us hope. So I think emotionally, us Bears fans are torn.
We have the third highest scoring offense in the league. We've never had that luxury.
No.
It's kind of like the Prince and the Pauper. We had to trade one for the other. Now we just have to deal with it on this end. I feel like I'm in Canada. I feel like I'm up in Canada. Trestman was coaching up there, of course, and he's used to this. He's just like, don't worry, it'll hold. Look at the points. We're American football fans, Mark. You're killing us.
Scary.
You're killing us.
We've been defense forever.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like we're the Peyton Manning Colts, where they had no defense and they would just rely on Peyton Manning to keep doing it. McCown had a great game.
He did. He had a very good game. And our offense is still getting it together. This season it seems to be we're still learning how things are going to go. Hopefully next season we're even better. But the direction is good. The direction we're going is good.
So altogether an ugly day, but we beat the Ravens. We killed. So, of course, go to our website, bigballsfantasyfootball.com, to look up all of our social media. You can tweet us questions at BigBallsFBall. Jenilee, where can they go to our Facebook?
You can go to our Facebook at facebook.com/BigBallsFantasyFootball. And again, you like us on there, tweet us. We want to hear from you guys. We want any questions you have for fantasy because we are getting close to the fantasy playoff time. That's when things get serious. So we're going to need your questions coming in, and we will let you know which direction to go.
Definitely. So, Jenilee, are you all ready with your picks now? You're going to be giving your picks here in LA, but I'm going to be out in Vegas giving my picks this week because, I don't know, I just got to go gamble. I just got to go have fun. So, are you all ready with your picks of the week?
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
I need a real man. Have you seen him?
Welcome to week 12 of my Real Men segment, and I hope all of you are having some good fantasy weeks out there. Last week, a couple of my picks paid off. Andre Johnson had a great game. He went over 100 yards, even though he didn't get a touchdown. And Mike Glennon got 23 fantasy points, so I said he should get at least 20, and he did that, including 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. Hankerson did not have a good game, but he got injured, so he didn't play the whole time. That was the one miss that I had. But if you listen to me, then you got some fantasy points last week. Let's get right on into my 3 picks this week because I have some good ones again for everyone. My first pick is tight end Delanie Walker. Now, I know he's been just average so far, but that's when Jake Locker was playing. We've said this time and time again that some quarterbacks have good chemistry with certain receivers and tight ends, and other quarterbacks don't. So I think Locker just maybe didn't have very good chemistry with him, but Fitzpatrick does. Fitzpatrick definitely relies on Delanie Walker to get open and be that big target in the middle of the field. Another thing is Fitzpatrick is a good game manager. He's similar to Alex Smith. He throws a lot of short passes in the middle of the field. He likes to get the ball out quick. So Delanie Walker has been the guy that he's been going to. Another thing is since Fitzpatrick has been in, now he went in week 10 because that's when Locker went down. Walker has been getting some good numbers. In week 10, he had 4 receptions for 62 yards and a touchdown. And in week 11, he had 10 receptions for 91 yards and a touchdown. I'm hurting at tight end. I wish I would have had him in last week. Unfortunately, I did not pick him up in time, but I'm hoping to get him to continue my fantasy run for the playoffs. And they're playing Oakland this week, and Oakland is giving up 253 passing yards per game. They're playing in Oakland, so who knows? They might be coming from behind. They might have to catch up and pass the ball a little bit. But with Fitzpatrick in, they're going to be passing anyways, and I think Walker's going to get a bunch of points out there again this week. And like I said, hopefully I can get him in my lineup. My second pick this week is running back Andre Brown of the Giants. The Giants desperately needed to get Brown back because we saw what was going on with them rotating all these running backs. They did not have a good running game. And now that they do, and Brown is back, he's showing that he's got it together and that leg is okay. Actually, this is a division game they're playing at home this week, and they really need to win. And to win and have Eli playing a little bit better, they need to keep that balance, and they need to run the ball. Now, in Brown's first 2 games back, he has a total of 181 rushing yards, 4 receptions for 31 yards, and a touchdown. So again, he's showing the Giants that he's the back getting it done. They definitely missed him. And the Cowboys' defense is banged up. Their defensive line is very banged up. And they have 2 linebackers that are going to be out this week, including Sean Lee. So the Cowboys are not very good at stopping the run. With those guys in, they're even worse at stopping the run, obviously, without a lot of these starters. And I think Brown's just going to tear it up on the ground. And the Cowboys are 29th in the league against the run. They have given up 11 rushing touchdowns. So I'm looking for Brown to get in the end zone again, get another touchdown, and hopefully rack up some fantasy points. And my third real man this week is wide receiver Danny Amendola. Now, I know this is an interesting pick because the Patriots have a ton of guys out there to throw the ball to. Gronk gets the ball a lot since he's been back. But I think Amendola is going to have one of his best weeks this week. So if you have him, I think this is the week to definitely get him in your lineup. Now, he's only been averaging 4.8 catches and 56.8 yards per game, but you have to keep in mind that he missed 4 games this season because of injury. And the Broncos can stop the run. They're actually 4th against the run. So I think the Patriots are going to have a difficult time running the ball, and they're going to have to throw it more than run it. Unfortunately for them, I don't think they're going to get to have as much balance as they really want. Also, the Broncos have a decent pass rush, and the Patriots' O-line has been playing very iffy. So if Brady starts to feel that pressure or get some sacks, he's going to need to get the ball out quickly, and Amendola is that guy that runs around in the slot that he can get that ball out to very quickly if the Broncos are getting some pressure on him. And this is going to be a fun, key matchup. I know everyone's looking forward to it, Broncos-Patriots. But the Patriots are going to have to put up points, and they might be coming from behind even though they're playing at home. The Broncos average 39.8 points per game. So I see this being a little bit higher scoring of a game. And if the Patriots get down early in the game, they're going to have to throw the ball and get back in it. So those are my 3 real men for week 12. I'm excited because I'm making my final stretch for the playoffs in my leagues. And I hope that all of our picks have been helping out this year. Again, we're trying to give you some different picks that aren't just the All-Stars, but we do like to talk about the All-Stars as well. And Greg, I know we're in our different setup, but that's because Greg went to Vegas. We did a live appearance, so this week we were just a little all over the place. But Greg does have his beast mode picks, and he's ready to give them to you from Vegas. He's partying out there, so let's get to it, Greg.
Hey everybody, welcome to Beast Mode here on Big Balls Fantasy Football. It's me, Greg the Beast, live from Las Vegas, Nevada, here in beautiful downtown near the Fremont Street Experience. I'm actually in an area called Fremont East, and it's really, really cool over here. I'm at the El Cortez. I'm going to show you right now some of the images here downtown. Just a really classic hotel, so old that it has landmark status. 25 bucks a night. Hey man, I just like to come here and gamble. Speaking of gambling, crying out loud, I get right off my Southwest flight and I end up catching the 4th quarter of the Monday Night Football face-off between the Panthers and the Patriots. Wow, what controversy we had there, huh? The Beast's humble opinion, I think that the call was away from the ball, so that's why they didn't make it. I think there would have been a pick anyway by Carolina, so Patriots, quit your damn crying. So, let's get down to the picks this week. My first beast for you this week is Demaryius Thomas, wide receiver, Denver Broncos. He has been on a tear, and going into this week, Orange Julius, he's gimpy. Wes Welker, we know he might be concussed. Watch for reports later in the week. So Demaryius, he went off this week, and I think he's going to go off next week. 5 attempts, 121 yards. That's a 24.2 yardage average per catch. Crying out loud, he is just one of Peyton's favorite targets right now, one of the sheriff's posse, along with all of his other weapons. That was against a very solid Kansas City defense. Imagine what he's going to do next week against the Patriots, who also have a solid defense, but isn't quite as deadly as they used to be. They let Cam Newton slice through him on Monday night.
I think Demaryius Thomas is going to get big receptions and big points for you this week. My second beast for you this week is Rashad Jennings, running back on Oakland. McGloin has been in place of Terrell Pryor, who was their running threat on offense. McGloin isn't quite the running threat, so they've been giving it the ball to Jennings, and he's been running wild. He ran for 150 yards last week on 22 carries against, the Texans. I know their defense isn't great as of late, but Jennings has been getting it also because we all know that McFadden has been out with his hammy problems. It's just going to get better and better for Jennings. I think even if the coaches who have been screwing around by saying we're not sure how McFadden's hammy is, if I were you, I'd be sick and tired of the whole McFadden debacle and all of his hamstring problems and his knee problems and whatever the hell else he has. Stick with Jennings. They're going to give him the ball, even if McFadden comes back. I can pretty much guarantee you that. Jennings went 20 for 88 yards versus the Giants, 15 for 102 yards versus Philly. He's just a solid pick. You got to get him in your lineup this week. My third beast for you this week is Ben Tate, running back of the Texans. I know what you're going to say. Hey, man, he hasn't even broken 100 yards this season, but he is the running back playing Jacksonville this week. So guess what? Jacksonville lets everybody run like crazy on him. This is finally the week he's going to break his 100-yard cherry. He went 11 for 17 for 88 yards last week. Pretty damn close versus Oakland. That's a 4.6 average per run. He went 15 for 56 versus a really, really good Arizona run defense. And he went 22 for 88, another 88, versus Indy. I just think you got to go with Ben Tate. Arian Foster is out for the season. He's the guy they're giving the rock to. I know his ribs are hurting him, but I'm sure they're healing week after week. He's just going to get better. So this is Greg from Vegas. And speaking of being on the road, we have Smash coming up next with her Smash and Grab segment, giving you 3 waiver wire steals that you need to get up in your lineup this week. And I am balling up here. I have a pineapple. That's right, a pineapple lamp. Top that, Smash.
Hey guys, this is Smash over here with Big Balls Fantasy Football, and we are coming live to you from the Man Cave and Universal City in California, down in the LA area. I am back here with the Smash and Grab picks for you for this week. I know it's been a while, so there's lots to talk about. A lot of things have been going on, a lot of injuries, people pulling off here. So to looking down to their waiver wire, it's been a little difficult to know who you should be picking up and who you shouldn't, just because, hell, who is there to pick up at this point? It's week 11. But I did find 3 players that I think that you guys can still pick up if they're available on your waiver wire. My first waiver wire pick today is E.J. Manuel, the quarterback from the Buffalo Bills. They're playing against the really hard defense of the Jets. Surprisingly, I know we picked on the Jets a lot so far this season, but they've been doing really great. E.J. Manuel had a fantastic game. He had 245 passing yards with 2 touchdowns. If you're a Buffalo Bills fans, you are ecstatic today with the game. With the waiver wire, there's so many great quarterbacks out there right now that if you picked him up and played E.J. Manuel today, you are in fantasy heaven. My second waiver wire pick is Bobby Rainey, the running back from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They played against the Atlanta Falcons this past Sunday, and he had a fantastic game. Since replacing Mike James, who replaced Doug Martin, both out on injuries, he really is the only running back to go to. In this week's game, he had 30 carries and 163 yards with 2 touchdowns. He's really the only person that you can pass the ball to if you're in Tampa Bay. So if you can pick him up and he's on your waiver wire, he's definitely going to score you some fantasy points. My third waiver wire pick is Percy Harvin of Seattle. He's finally back. It is week 11, and if you picked him up, or you drafted him in the beginning, you know that he was hurt in training camp, but he's finally back. He did play just for a bit today, but Seattle is easing him back in. So my recommendation is to pick him up, play it, put him on the bench, and just watch him for this week. He only had 1 reception for 17 yards this week, but it was a fantastic play. Seattle is not trying to just rush right into it and hurt him any further because they really want to be able to use him for playoffs. It was going to be a boom or bust sort of day, but I think it was neither. He didn't hurt himself, but he didn't obviously go off either and score major points fantasy-wise. But he is a safe and reliable pick as long as he stays healthy. And if you can pick him up and put him on your bench and maybe play him next week, if not, definitely play him for your playoff season. And that's all I have for you right now. Reporting live from the Man Cave in Universal City, I am Smash with your Smashy Rats.